audio.
Audio
Có lấy rồi.
có lấy, em lấy đấy.
Đi sao nhân không nghe?
Anh lấy cắm dây vào.
Chấm rồi mà nhân lấy like rồi.
À không, tại vì
Like.
nó chỉ là nick trên kia thôi.
Không mà nhân lấy rồi không nghe. Test nãy giờ chưa. Em lấy channel YouTube em lấy lên channel YouTube
vì cái tiếng nói bên kia
Nhưng mà cái tiếng nói trên kia là chỉ có một cái mic ở trên kia.
anh còn có lấy cái ambient channel one Trung Quốc anh lấy cái là ambient em là pro với cái
Yep. Nhẹ nhàng thôi. Mấy người sát là bước ngoài việc phải xin lỗi. Hả?
Mấy người kêu
Chưa có sao đâu, tại vì mình phải vào trong này, mình phải vào trong này chuẩn bị đi cái nốt để từ trường học nó có xuyên vẫn riêng.
đông này chứ một năm đâu, một mùa đâu phải ra đông này.
Không thì nó là hai mùa ấy.
No, it's fine. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
từng người như vậy đến chiều không cho bên đây cho đi
kể cả đi liền hết chỗ này cũng hơi lâu. Anh thấy ông từ đấy đến giờ nhá, mấy hàng đi vào mà nửa tiếng chưa vào đến đến nơi. Bây giờ nếu mà từng hàng một từng đứa lên nhận xong cứ đi liền nhau như thế này rồi nhá, cũng phải mất 1-2 tiếng. 2 tiếng chắc phải đến tầm
đi đâu
tầm 1 giờ chiều đấy.
chơi được được.
Cái chết quay. Mấy chục dầu
Nó có ít nhất là 6 máy trong mà không biết thì không biết cái sức chứa ở đâu.
đâu không?
Ở đâu?
Cái đặc biệt.
Đúng rồi, nó có hai cái.
Thôi nè, cái đó mạnh lắm á.
360 duy rồi.
Mạnh lắm á. Mấy đó ở trong nhà thờ có.
Bây giờ mà có bọn nó cái nhà nó có vậy.
Chứ không phải lại mua 200-300 lại mà không.
Ngoài lúc bây giờ đi
2023 spring commencement exercises for George Mason University have now begun. Please stand for the presentation of colors and the singing of the national anthem. I'd like to thank George Mason University Wind Symphony, conducted by Dr. William L. Lake, Jr., Assistant Professor, Director of Concert Bands. Please give a round of applause. Thanks also to our vocalist, David Sabo, for singing the national anthem. Fantastic, David. Sabo's work. He's graduating from the College of Visual and Performing Arts with a master's degree in vocal performance from the Dewberry Family School of Music. David, give me my applause. David will actually join us later for the singing of our alma mater. I am now very pleased to welcome and congratulate the class of 2023. Joining our graduates today are faculty, staff, there are loved ones who come from throughout the Commonwealth, across the nation, and even some who've flown in from other nations just to be a part of this celebration. And we're honored to host our guest speaker, Governor Nguyen Kimmy Duong, who we'll introduce to you shortly. So to everyone who's here, no matter where you're from, I extend a warm welcome to George Mason University. Today, we will honor more than 10,000 recipients of bachelor's, master's, doctoral, and law degrees, as well as recipients of more than 700 certificates. This marks the largest number of graduates, not just in Mason history, but in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia. That's a big deal. The way I see it, that is 11,000 lives nearly that have been transformed and will be transformed today. Our graduates hail from 111 countries, 50 states, and a multitude of backgrounds. About 1 in 4 patriots that we're honoring today is the first in their family to graduate or earn a 4-year degree. We're take it one step further. Would our first-gen graduates please stand, and so we can celebrate the family history you are making today. Please stand. The reality is this. All of you have weathered quite a journey to arrive at this day. Bachelor's degrees candidates, you are the last class in the university to have entered college entirely before the onset of the pandemic. No class after you will be able to say that. And if you think of the pandemic as a great storm that has passed over us, it has changed the trees of our consciousness. You know, storms do that to trees. They break away old branches that can no longer stand the winds of change. But the branches that do not break are strengthened by the stress that is put upon them. And the pruning that occurs makes room for new growth. We are now, that's all right, that's okay. We are now in the springtime of the world beyond the pandemic. And so it's time for us to take an assessment of what that storm has done to our trees. Now, you only have to hear me say this one more time before you go. But what does it mean to be a patriot? Today, I want to share with you an obligation of how you have defined being a patriot. It's what I've observed throughout the year. The pandemic put so much stress on the fabric of our world that society seemed to start coming apart at the seams. But you all stuck together. You did what you had to do in order to get through the pandemic. You didn't fight each other. You fought the virus. And together, we won. You see, so when I look at it, that is who we are. As the winds of society shifted, sometimes blowing your way, other times throwing sand in your eyes, you stuck to your beliefs. Even in the most divisive of political environments that many of us have ever experienced, you have held your civility while indeed voicing your truths. That is who we are. I want to leave with you a remarkable story that we witnessed from our students last summer. And this was shortly before a landmark Supreme Court decision was handed down. It doesn't matter the decision, but let me explain to you about what this told me about who you are as Mason students. 2 groups of Mason students representing both sides of this contentious issue showed up at our Mason Square campus in Arlington to demonstrate. Their passions could not have run higher. Their convictions could not have run deeper. And there they were, on the same plaza, determined to be heard. As an administration, we were nervous. As your president, I was nervous. But do you know what they did? They first negotiated the terms of their protest and counter-protest. They agreed not to photograph or demonize one another on social media. Each gave room to the other to make their points. The chants and the shouts were joined and went back and forth like a tennis match. And when each had their say, they left in peace. Neither side was silenced, nor tried to silence the others. In the end, they came and they left as patriots. That is who we are. And this is who you are going to have to be throughout your lifetimes. I am sorry to tell you, but the living doesn't get any easier from here. It does get more exciting, however. Just as you are the last graduating class to have entered before the pandemic, you are also the first generation of Americans who will lead the new world that now rises up before us. By the time you reach mid-career, that means by the time you get to my age, a little younger, America will be a nation without ethnic majorities. That America will just be many different people of different backgrounds and beliefs, all still trying to build a more perfect union. You will govern, you will conduct commerce, and you will socialize differently than any American did before. That diversity of origin, identity, circumstance, and thought is what we affectionately call altogether different. It has caused some struggles and many triumphs, but it isn't just a Mason slogan. For you all, it is actually your future. We have tried to prepare you for the world you are about to take on. In class of 2023, the largest, most diverse class in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia, you are indeed ready to take on that world. You are armed with an education like no other, supported by friends you have made from all walks of life, and lifted up by a vision of the world you will forge with your own grit and audacity. That is who you are, and that is what it means to be a patriot. So as your president, I do not worry about your success. I celebrate it because you were built for a time such as this. Thank you. Before we move on with our program, I'd like to take a moment to thank the Mason faculty and staff members who have done, a tremendous job of educating, inspiring, and serving our students. Mason faculty and staff members who are here, please stand so you can be formally recognized. I would be remiss if I didn't also acknowledge our Alumni Association for its work to maintain a lifelong bond with the now more than 225,000 graduates. The class of 2023 is now part of an enormous network for careers and recruitment opportunities. And finally, I'd like to recognize our governing board, the Board of Visitors, for the tremendous job they do guiding this growing, innovative university. Would the Board of Visitors members who are here today please stand and be formally recognized?
Kỷ lục của tiểu bang.
Not only do they lead the university, they're also my boss. So I need to make sure that we formally do this. It is great to have you all here with us today. Now, I invite you to turn to page 82 of the commencement program, where former Mason medal recipients are listed. I'd like to recognize one of the past recipients who is here with us today. Nguyen Will you please stand and be recognized? Where's Long? There he is. Please. You'll see why we do this in a second. It is now my pleasure to introduce the rector of the George Mason University Board of Visitors, Horace Blackman, to present the 2023 Mason Medal, the university's highest honorary award.
Thank you, President Washington, and I join you in congratulating the members of the class of 2023. The Mason Medal is awarded to those who have a record of service to our community, to the Commonwealth, and to our nation consistent with the level and quality of George Mason's own public service as one of the founding fathers of our country. This year's Mason Medal recipient is Mrs. Kimmy Duong. Tech entrepreneur Kimmy Duong exemplifies the transformative power of education. Her life story and unwavering commitment to helping others achieve their academic goals is nothing short of inspirational. Ms. Duong escaped communist government in Vietnam in 1975 and arrived in the United States as a refugee with $30 in her pocket. But she possessed something even more valuable: a good education, a strong family, and an unparalleled work ethic. She worked her way up in the tech industry, first at IBM, and then growing innovative solution provider Pragmatics over the past 3 decades. She is the company's vice chairwoman and chief financial officer. Mrs. Duong has achieved enduring impact at Mason with the opportunities she provided to hundreds of students through the Kimmy Duong Foundation to support health, education, and welfare initiatives in the Vietnamese and American communities. She has established multiple scholarship programs with endowments of more than $4 million that are administered by local universities. In 2011, Ms. Duong and her husband donated $5 million to Mason for what is now known as the Long and Kimmy Nguyen Engineering Building. Ms. Duong's service and gratitude continues to lift so many members of our Mason community. We are proud today to present her with George Mason University's highest medal, the Mason Medal. Ms. Duong, please join me.
Good morning. I'm Mark Ginsberg, and I have the honor of serving as our university's provost. I want to take a moment and congratulate my friend Kimmy, who I've known for many years. It's a great honor and a great privilege to share this with you today. And thank you to Rector Blackman as well. You know, George Mason University has a tradition of having a graduating senior address their fellow students at commencement. And we're very pleased this morning to continue that tradition by introducing our student speaker, Galilea Cejas Machado. Galilea grew up in nearby Annandale, Virginia, and she's a student, soon-to-be graduate of our Honors College. She's also a first-generation student who graduates today with a double major in the fields of criminology, law, and society, as well as sociology. In addition to being an outstanding student, Galilea has been a campus leader. She's the founding president of the Hispanic Latino Leadership Alliance, and also the outgoing president of the Latin Student Association here on our campus. Her list of campus activities is indeed impressive. The Center for Culture, Equity, and Empowerment, the Chi Epsilon Sigma National Latin Sorority, the Order of Omega, Mason Ambassadors, Patriot Academic Activities Council, and more because she has helped the university in so many ways. And she's also helped to promote the university among Spanish-speaking populations in our region and across the state. You might say, by the way, that Galilea is going places, and indeed she is in many ways, but many of you likely may have seen her image also on the side of buses that are advertising Mason all over the Northern Virginia region. She indeed has gone places and will continue to do so. She was nominated at the college by the College of Humanities and Social Sciences as the Senior of the Year, and she was awarded the Distinguished Quill Community Engagement Award and the Mason Trailblazer Award. It's a great honor and privilege to welcome to the podium Galilea Sejas Machado.
Thank you. All right, so before I officially begin, I want to acknowledge all the individuals here taking the stage, specifically the land that we at George Mason University stands on because the program has failed to do so. So, land acknowledgement engages all present in an ongoing Indigenous protocol to enact meaningful reciprocal relationships with ancestors and contemporary tribal nations. As a state university, we are responsible for including and supporting Indigenous communities and sovereign tribes in our work. At the place George Mason University occupies, we give greetings and thanksgivings to these Potomac River life sources, to the Doic ancestors who Virginia annihilated in violent campaigns while ripping their lands apart with the brutal system of African-American enslavement, to the recognized Virginia tribes who have lovingly stewarded these lands for a millennia, including Rappahannock, Pamunkey, Upper Mattapony, Chickahominy, Eastern Chickahominy, Nansemond, Monacan, Mattapony, Petawomic, and Nottoway, past, present, and future, and to the Piscataway tribes, who have lived on both sides of the river for time and more. We must know the spaces we hold and tend to the individuals before us.
Đúng rồi.
So, let me take a moment and tell you 3 names. Barsami, Ana Basualdo Luis, Vanessa Kien. These young women and many Black, Indigenous women of color that we don't see highlighted in the news had hopes, dreams, and goals to share. Upon asking the question, what are you going to be when you grow up? I'm sure they had a long-winded response or short to the point story detailing what they envisioned for their future self. Yet, people and systems are placed in society that is factored against these powerful women and continues to be detrimental to our marginalized communities. Simply sharing your story or having a group of people with a shared experience is not enough to protect you, because if it were, these women would still be alive today. Instead, the impact of our words and stories can create waves of change for future generations. While their deaths caused tremendous outrage, anger, and questioning, what it created and helped unite was our communities and helped build solidarity. There is power in communities and strength in building on that power with others, but rarely are we asked questions about this. Instead, we're asked, oh, what's your name? Or what's your major? Every single time during orientation. And it's interesting to answer these questions because you either have a full-fledged response detailing your top internship at Deloitte or how you're going to use your degree for holistic studies. Yet that's not always the case, we all know that. These are only idealized responses, and these past few years have shown us that social and racial injustices happen daily, and I cannot promise that they will get 100% better. I won't stand here and ask, oh, what do you want to be, or what do you want to do post-graduation? Because 1, that's a loaded question as is, and 2, there are other factors outside of our control that work against us in our identities. Instead, we can capitalize on the values that we fortified and that formed our character as well as our sense of self. We've been waiting for this final moment in our green and gold regalia, ready to hold the people that will give us a more straightforward path to those without one. Yet what's not listed is the experiences, long nights I've been with, tireless walks to La Caille, or even who we are, and more importantly, who we can be. 10 years from now, will that one paper hold the same weight to be able to come close to detailing all our achievements, identities, or strides we made in our communities? Of course not. It's the meaning behind our Mason experience, behind Mason's story, and how we carry that with us. We can only single one experience or one person, maybe a group of people, that helps lay the foundation of who we are today. And for me, it started with Taylor Hall 4408. It was my 2 freshman year roommates and our one pesky floor mate that we indoctrinated and called our own. Now, alright, picture this. It was a warm, cloudy afternoon on September 24th, 2019. Leaves trying to fall, construction ever present in Wilkins Plaza, and I just was coming back from Johnny's Center with a blaze bread pizza, and yes, I am that person. Just finished eating it, about to, devour my next one when I get a call from my roommate, Jalen. She and her other friend, Christopher, were at the Hispanic Student Association Minutes to Winning edition. But before the end of the call, they just happened to mention something that had pupusas. To those unaware, pupusas are an excellent Salvadorian food, similar to stuffed tortilla, but even that statement doesn't do it justice. So after 5 minutes, a bit out of breath, I was running the hub side pocket all the way from President's Park. And on one side, you see Jalen and Christopher bawling their eyes out laughing, me not knowing why. To the right, Domino's Pizza boxes, and then right in front, the Hispanic Student Association President, Nelson Ocean. Obviously, I was flabbergasted, so I take, cry. It was terrible, but I saw Nelson. I met Nelson earlier in that semester, and it was just no time had passed. She still carried that warming energy and excitement when talking about her organization and her bond with the community. Since that day in 2019, I remember 2 things. 1, never trust Jalen and Christopher because they lied to me on my favorite foods. And 2, how connected the Hispanic Latina community was, and currently is, and hopes to be continued, and a sense of belonging it instilled. 4 years later, I am glad that I made the 5-minute sprints from Taylor Hall to the Hub because I learned what I could do beyond my academics. I can honestly say that after being president of the now Latin Association and founding president of the Hispanic Latina Leadership Alliance, the umbrella org for all Latina and Hispanic groups on campus, that I found it. And I learned what the power of community is and how much I've been blessed and empowered to work alongside advocates, disruptors, change makers, and people at Mason who I know have only started their stories. Now, circling back to the series of questions when we meet someone new. Don't focus on the what do you want to be or what you want to do. Focus on the who. Instead, ask who do you want to be and who do you have in your corner, on your side, in your community that share your same missions and help you move forward. Some men even use majors to guide our lives, and we know that's all right. Instead, we will use what we experienced, how we show up in different spaces, and what values drive our passions to achieve something great. I learned the difference between what I am, or rather who I am, and who I can be. I am a strong, independent Latina, the eldest daughter and a second-generation immigrant, my ancestors' wildest dreams, and I can be so much more with my intersectional identities. Now, as I'm sure you guessed it, community building guides my actions and my actions that brought me here today. I strongly believe in people choosing their family and where, who, or what they call home. Attending this university has allowed me and others to find people that respect the path they are on, and I hope you all will do the same. We are the ones who give meaning to this place, and we provide it with purpose because of our collective experience of being at this institution. However you may define our recipient, we have a community to fall back on, and that will help support our endeavors and continue to fortify our strength. As we continue moving forward with our positive and negative experiences, we must not move forward past it. We must use that hurt and that experience to motivate each other and ourselves to remember who is there with a megaphone amplifying their voice and whose stories we want to share. Vanessa Guillen's sisters, Mayra and Lupe, continue fighting to establish a voice for minority women and communities forced into hiding, those that were harmed and killed. They're amongst a whole community awakened by the pain yet empowered to reform the system that tried to hide their sister's murder. We must elevate each other to seek higher grounds and achieve greater feats despite excuses we heard here at Mason from the Commonwealth leadership. People create communities who rely on the tenacity of their numbers, and numbers create a space for all voices to echo and be amplified. Whatever guides your actions, morals, or perspectives, keep it close to your heart and find others to support and elevate you. I'm incredibly humbled to speak in front of our alumni, friends, and family that have shaped the class of 2023. I want us to continue aligning ourselves with individuals who share our values, missions, and passions, and people who create an authentic space for pride of our identities. Where there's power in our voice and boldness in our actions, there's strength in our destination. Thank you and congratulations to the Spring 2023 graduating class.
Thank you. We are pleased to continue the long Mason tradition of inviting our states and our Commonwealth's chief executive to address our newest graduates. Dr. Nguyen Kimmy is a Virginian through and through. He was born in Richmond, raised in Virginia Beach, and spent 25 years here in Northern Virginia in various leadership positions, including the co-CEO at global investment management firm. On January 15, 2022, he was sworn in as the 74th governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. Governor Youngkin heads the most diverse Virginia leadership team in history, with the first woman of color, Lieutenant Governor Winston Sears, and the first Latino Attorney General, Jason Mayares, elected to statewide office in Virginia. Among his actions in his first year in office, Governor Youngkin passed the largest education budget in Virginia's history and creating economic opportunities for citizens around the state. I know Dr. Washington has had the pleasure of meeting with the governor many times to address Mason's priorities in higher education in Virginia. Of course, like the rest of us, Governor Youngkin is here today to honor our graduates. But while he's here at Eagle Bank Arena, he might want to admire our Final Four batter. Governor Youngkin played basketball on scholarship at Rice University, where he earned a bachelor's degree in mechanical engineering and managerial studies before going on to earn an MBA from Harvard Business School. Governor Youngkin, if you have any athletic eligibility left, we think you would look very good in the Patriot green and gold, and we could certainly use another power forward. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to George Mason University, the 74th governor of the Commonwealth of Virginia. By the power vested in me by the George Mason University Board of Visitors, I hereby confer upon Governor Youngkin the honorary degree of Doctor of Humane Letters with all the rights and privileges thereon to belong.
Well, good morning. President Washington, members of the Board of Visitors, deans of the college, distinguished guests, faculty and staff, thank you for your leadership. Thank you for the kind invitation to be here today. Parents, family, friends, and Mason Nation here in support of your graduates. What a privilege it is to join you on this special occasion. And to the class of 2023, congratulations, you've done it. Today is truly a special day. Yes, because you will earn a degree from George Mason University, but also because so many of you arrived here on time, despite last night's festivities. It is such an honor to be with you. Today is about you. It's about your outstanding achievements and the world of opportunity that awaits you. The class of 2023 is an extraordinary group. With us today are current and future military heroes,
educating heroes, engineers and doctors, researchers and business leaders, technologists and lawyers, and so many more, representing all walks of life that breathe energy into this world-class institution. As you have heard, this is the largest graduating class in George Mason history. And I'd like to repeat what President Washington shared earlier, because it's incredible. Today, nearly 11,000 degrees and certificates will be conferred with students from 111 countries and all 50 states, along with the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, the U.S. Virgin Islands, and overseas military bases. Just over 65 years ago, George Mason began with 17 students and 1 building. Today, there are nearly 40,000 undergraduate and graduate students with national leading graduate programs like the Antonin Scalia Law School. U.S. News and World Report ranks Mason #1 in Virginia and #9 nationally among public institutions for innovation. And as you have heard, there are over 1,560 first-generation students receiving their bachelor's degrees today. That is amazing. Now, we also have extraordinary athletes and competitors here. This year, the Mason women's softball team has been shattering all records. They are headed to the NCAA women's softball tournament for the very first time in university history. And this Friday at noon, the Patriots will bring home their first win against the Blue Devils from Duke University. With great sports, nationally ranked research, and academic programs, distinguished faculty, George Mason is truly breaking out as a great university. Of course, the true mark of a great university is the students. Together, you all have achieved something truly worthy of your passion and your commitment. You are breaking barriers, designing your futures, and exemplifying perseverance. Yes, as a class, you face the challenges of the pandemic, which was a disruption not of your own choosing. But you are here today, resilient, bold, and pioneering a brighter future. And as you close this chapter of your lives and start to write the next, you will have choices ahead of you, some easy and some that will rock you to your core. Will you blaze new paths? Will you stand strong in the face of criticism and adversity? Will you inspire friends, family, community, nation, and the world around you to be better than before? Will you create the new, accelerate the next, grow the needed? Will you be a builder? You have gone to a university named after George Mason, a man who championed personal freedom over tyranny, who inspired and wrote the Virginia Declaration of Rights, and inspired again the liberties preserved in our nation's Bill of Rights that protect our individual freedoms. You have a strong foundation to lean on, George Mason, to lean on the university that has educated you. Today, you have built on the legacy of freedom, founded on the idea that through respect, honor, and dignified conversations, we are stronger. Because no matter your faith, no matter your nationality, no matter your race, your culture, or creed, as you walk across this stage, you will have the opportunity to become a builder of Virginia, a builder of this nation, a builder of the world. I know you will choose to build because that is the nation way. As an engineering major myself, like many of you, I studied what it takes to make a strong structure that can withstand the test of time. Ultimately, it comes down to having a vision, laying a strong foundation and using resilient materials. Let me share 3 of your own stories to prove the point, because they say it the best. Having a vision is powering leaders like Daniel Lee, here with us today as he receives a degree in global affairs. 4 years ago, Daniel enrolled at Mason's extraordinary campus in Korea. He founded the school newspaper and did incredible work to deepen U.S.-Korea ties. Last year, he came to the U.S. for his capstone, building on the knowledge and connections he made in Korea. And now he plans to stay and pursue his master's. Daniel, thank you for your vision for a better tomorrow, with deep friendship between Korea and the United States. We are stronger together. And Daniel, I understand that your mother traveled all of the way here to celebrate with you. She is rightfully very proud. When we think about strong buildings, we need strong foundations. And with us today is Noel Kazada, a first-generation student graduating from the Honors College with a degree in criminology, law, and society. Before Noel even arrived at George Mason, he was part of Mason's early identification program and knew this was the only college he wanted to attend. Noel also knew he wanted to serve in the armed forces. So before starting classes, he completed boot camp. And then over 4 years at Mason, served in the Army Reserves and was a member of ROTC, where in his words, not mine, he honed his skills in leadership and compassion. In just 2 weeks, Noel will bring it all together and commission as a second lieutenant in the United States Army. Noel set that critical foundation, and he will embody ethical leadership in the future. The foundation you build is the foundation for our nation. And to Noel and every service member, veteran, and their families, you remind us every day that freedom is not free. Thank you for your service. And third, great builders require strong, resilient materials. This wouldn't be a commencement speech without a reminder that life isn't always going to go according to plan. You may have a child who struggles, a parent or spouse who gets sick, a best friend dies of cancer. Graduating today, we have Brandon Roy Roca, a first-generation student. Yes. See, Brandon's family was devastated by the pandemic when both his parents lost their jobs and both, even more tragically, were diagnosed with cancer. Brandon took on a lighter course load. He worked 2 jobs in order to support his family, and he helped his mom in hospice. He found in her one wish to see Brandon graduate. He found the strength and the capacity to arrive here today at the finish line. And today, even though Brandon's mother is not physically with us, Brandon's family is here celebrating as he fulfills his mother's wish and continues to build his future. Congratulations, Brandon. I know your mother is so proud. All of the men and women who attend George Mason are prepared to be builders. You are each about to head out into the world, diploma in hand, into a world that needs your vision, a world that that needs your strong foundation, a world that needs your resilience and your passion. Now, this is my challenge to you. Stand for something. Do not be afraid of criticism. Keep going, keep pushing, and keep dreaming. The world needs builders, and you will build. While you will achieve things you can't even imagine, today is the time to take a moment, to take a breath, and to celebrate. Celebrate with your friends and family and thank them for loving and supporting you on this journey. Maybe stop by the George Mason statue in Wilkins Plaza and get a picture. And it also wouldn't hurt to rub his toe, because I've heard that might bring you luck in landing your first job. To the class of 2023, congratulations. You have an extremely bright future ahead of you. May God bless you. Congratulations, class of 2023.
The George Mason University Alumni Association is your lifelong connection to our university. Upon graduation, you become an alum and a member of the Mason Alumni Association, which is a community, as President Washington earlier told us, of more than 225,000 George Mason patriots from around the world. And now that you're on the cusp of becoming graduates, please welcome with me to the podium Christine Landau, who received her bachelor's degree in 1989 and her master's degree in 1992. She is president of the George Mason University Alumni Association. She's also a distinguished faculty member here at your university. Christine, welcome and thank you so much.
Thank you so much for provoking first. I was saying professor, provost. I appreciate that. And hello, Mason Nation. And everyone in this auditorium is part of Mason Nation. Whether you do it or not, we are committed to tell our stories. So we thank you for being here. And especially to the class of 2023. I could not be more proud of you. This is one of my best parts of my job, being able to welcome you into the Alumni Association. So I have 3 things I want to say today. First, congratulations. You have achieved a lot. We've heard your stories. So thank you for that. You entered the network of more than 220,000 strong. And think about that number for a second. I did some math because I'm a CPA trained here at Mason. And you would have to, if you met a Mason alum every day of the year, you would have to be here on this planet for 602 years before you met every single one. So use that network and that power in this room to do it. I'd love to see if any Mason alumni are in the room can stand up and show this class that you are here to support them. This is your Mason family, so use them, leverage them, help each other out. That's what we do here at Mason. The second thing I want to do is thank you. Thank you for choosing Mason. I was on a flight not recently where they thanked me for picking that. Thank you for picking Mason. You could have picked other universities, but you choose to spend your time here. And I really want to thank you for that. Thank you for your commitment, and thank you for continuing to be a patriot, as President Washington talked about. The last thing I want to do is, and it's ironic because we're saying goodbye to you today, but I want you to stay connected. So I want you to come right back, whether it be participating in a fabulous basketball game in this arena, go Final Four again, absolutely. Whether it be coming back and mentoring in a classroom, being a leader in the classroom, being a member of an advisory board. I did all that when I was at Deloitte, came back and was a member of an advisory board, and 5 years later I was teaching here again at Mason. So be engaged, be connected, go out to alumni.gmu.edu and see all the events, activities, everything you can do to stay connected. And if you can't find something, reach out to me personally and I will find something for you to do. Because we are as strong as we are together. I want you to go out and tell your Mason story, because you will motivate the next generation of folks to join Mason Nation. So once again, congratulations. Go out and do great things. And remember, once a patriot, always a patriot. Have a great day.
Thank you, Christine. Mr. President, as Provost of George Mason University, I have the honor to present candidates for doctoral degrees, the highest degree of course. Will the candidates for the degrees of Doctor of Arts and Doctor of Philosophy please rise and remain standing?
I confer on you the doctoral degree for which you stand. I bestow upon you all the rights and privileges belonging to that degree, and I welcome you into the company of scholars.
It's now my honor to call upon the new doctors to come forward to the platform for the presentation of the diplomas by President Washington. Vice President, or Vice Provost it is for Academic Affairs, my colleague Dr. Jeanette Muir, will announce the candidates by field of study. We ask the audience to please hold your applause until all of our new doctors have been announced. As the candidates proceed to the stage, I'm pleased to extend to each of you my personal, sincere, and very genuine congratulations. You know, doctoral education is challenging. Engaging in studies at the doctoral level is both inspiring, yet also rewarding. And you have chosen a path that provides a rampway, a trajectory that is to great achievements and for consequential impact. You've dived deeply into a field and a topic that you've chosen for your research and dissertation. You've needed to work hard, to focus, and you've needed to persevere. And you've also needed to remain patient and optimistic even during those moments where there's been frustration, the times when you wondered, would you ever complete that doctoral course of study? It's been said, you know, that pursuing a doctoral degree is a daring adventure. Having done it myself, I can tell you all, it is. But through it all, you have completed what few in our nation have been able to do. Less than 2% of our nation's population holds a doctoral degree. And now, as new doctors, you are prepared to pursue knowledge by asking questions and researching answers to the most vexing, the most complex, the most important, the most critical problems we face today, and the most critical problems we will face in our future. As you enter what we call our community of scholars, that obtaining a doctoral degree infers, you are poised to have an impact, to engage in the work of your field, to do things that make a difference. And I look forward to learning about your next daring adventure. I'm confident that you will make a positive difference in our community, in our nation, and indeed throughout the world. I am inspired by you, as I know President Washington is as well. We are pleased for you. and we celebrate each and every one of you. All of us at Mason delights in your achievement. Please join me in congratulating our new doctor.
Mr. President, I present new doctors of arts whose field of study is musical arts. Samantha Catherine Clark. Sun Q Park. Jin Zhu Song. Mr. President, I present new doctors whose field of study is nursing practice. Gabriella T. Aquila Conway. Arzu Kanwal Bashir. Beatrice Koulibaly. Callie A. Dove. Ashley M. Fries. Kenneth Robert Fries. Akila Glenn. Shayna Ann Gillen. Christy Lee Gould. Stephanie Lynn Ho. Kaylin E. Jennison.
Well, no, that's fine.
Jane J. Ludwig. Katya Ramos Barrero. Jennifer Louise McKee. Osita Bendy. Vicky Kumar Mishra. Elaine Sean Newell. Priscilla Abba Atazo Ticona. Doris Cujo Obusu. Mani Bekile Raja Marthandan. Sarah Ingalls Ryan. Allison Edna Roca. Deborah Nas Denswasaki. Amanda Marie Salberg. Caroline Mary Sika. Tracy Cleveland Sparrow. Grace Catherine Stover. Dia Janice Willard.
Anh trưởng VATV.
Yvette Zabasi. Chanel M. Zelaya.
Bây giờ trong cái list của tôi từ trên đó xuống đây cũng phải người dẫn không có người đi luôn.
Mr. President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is bioengineering. Matthew Chiraboga. Sarah Haddad. Srinivas Lashes. Let me try this again. Srinivas Mahesh Hawadan. Mr. President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is bioinformatics and computational biology. Andy Huang. Mr. President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is biosciences. Ipa Daha. Stephanie Porter. Mr. President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is civil and infrastructure engineering. Amir Ahmad. Felicio Casado. Emmanuel Johnson John Samuel. Wenji Lee. Sarab Mamdoui. Mr. President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is climate dynamics. Kai Wang. Janet Joshi. Mr. President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is communication. Aaron Campbell.
Lên chương trình được phát bằng tiến sĩ danh dự đó mới được phát bằng.
Xavier Dion Clark. Lane Marie Schwager. Sammy Munson.
Từ đó hả mà qua đây á, mấy cận dẫn, mấy người dẫn tới đây, police dẫn đưa như sau cùng á, sinh viên chẳng ông đi tới cái dàn máy tôi nói tới 17 tháng nữa, sau cùng nó dẫn đi lòng vòng cũng như là cái đường mà chống phai
President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is computational sciences and informatics. Thomas Wright Jones. Mr. President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is computer science. Rawan Abufaili.
Nhớ là giúp cho thằng là Lý Thanh Phi đó.
Có
đi vụ đến Nụ Cường với Trâm không?
Có chứ.
Tôi không có đi. Tại vì bà xã tôi không thấy tôi có quốc phục á, nhưng mà tôi không đi được là vì đi bộ xa với sáng họ đi sớm quá.
Đúng là không phải xa, nhưng mà có lẽ tại vì mấy cái đưa tôi một cái đi sáng.
20 là thứ 7 nè. Chủ nhật ở trên chùa thầy 9:30 đó nha.
Dạ không 9
Quảng Đức.
Dạ không nói em
tôi đi.
Bahaman Petru.
Tôi bắt đầu đứng tuổi.
Dạ.
Tôi về.
Đúng rồi em biết.
Tôi về tôi viết bài thì tôi làm phóng sự từ nước đấy. Tôi về tôi viết dịch nãy giờ.
Nhưng mà em vẫn còn chạy được.
Nhưng anh còn tốt, tôi là ở tù kinh tế yếu, tôi có handicap mà cho nên nó đậu handicap nhờ tôi đó chứ. Không có handicap đâu có đậu này đi được. Ok, bye phút, nhớ gửi cho thầy, nhớ gửi cho Lý Thanh Phi.
Lý Zhang. Xuân Chi.
Dạ.
Mr. President, I present you doctors of philosophy whose field of study is conflict analysis and resolution. Saifa